Just when you thought these people were really gone, no such luck. It looks like John Kerry is back and has been named by Biden as the first ever special envoy on climate. Fox and Friends weekend co-host and author of the new book, Modern Warriors, Pete Hegseth, joins me now with a reaction to that and so much more. Okay, Pete, so what exactly is a climate envoy?
Oh boy, it's the highest mecca of left-wing thinking, right? A position with no accountability and real responsibility, chasing after the ultimate mechanism through which they can try to control our lives and use international schemes to do so, surrendering our sovereignty, and also, by the way, never holding our adversaries accountable the way they should be. They can pollute all they want, even as we in our economy has to manage all the controls that are put on it by leftists. Communist Chinese, do whatever you want. And here's the thing, John Kerry keeps reporting for duty and keeps just blathering in no way that actually benefits America. Remember when he went to France after their terror attack and brought James Taylor with him, and they sang "You Got a Friend in Me" together? There's no real actual taking on of real threats. Think of that, Islamists attacking. He won't even use the word Islamist, but they love enemies that don't have faces, like climate change, because then they can say the end is nigh. It's World War II. We need to do everything we can now, and your life needs to get worse as a result, so we can all virtue signal and feel better about ourselves. It's the worst possible person in the most, it's not even powerful, but consequential position. He's going to be unleashed by Biden, and America doesn't benefit from this one bit. They get to feel good about themselves, so they say.
Well, it's very interesting. You basically say, or you're suggesting, if not saying it outright, that it's the left creating almost another excuse to create more control over us, more tyranny. Because of this, you're going to have to do that. You're not going to be able to drive. Right. You're not going to be able to fly in an airplane, while they fly. We don't even need to get into the hypocrisy. That is assumed. All we have to do is you do Nancy and Lori Lightfoot and their hair, and then you do Gavin Newsom and New Jersey Governor Murphy with their eating out, and then it goes on. And Cuomo telling senior citizens for Thanksgiving, it's okay to be isolated. You can mentally join the global community. Are you crazy? These seniors are depressed enough. But now I see it as another mechanism to control us.
Correct. It's a surrender of personal sovereignty, meaning over the things you can do as a person, as an individual, as a free person in a free country. And it's a surrender of our national sovereignty. They're going to hand over prerogatives over our country to international institutions who believe that there should be a global order, because this is a global climate problem. It's a global commons problem. They talk about it all the time, by the way, in higher education. This is like the biggest issue every public policy school in America talks about. And they don't care about America. This is not America first. This is America. Go sit over there. Let the bureaucrats in Brussels dictate who can emit what in what places. And oh, by the way, we carve out China because they're a developing nation, which we all know is a bunch of garbage. So it's a surrender. And that's, John Kerry's very good at that. And he'll do even more of it because he wants to be liked by these so-called elites.
And, the sad part of it is that, John Kerry, wasn't he going to Iran as President Trump was basically getting out of the Iran deal and getting involved as someone without the president's authority to try to, renegotiate or tell the Iranians, we'll be back. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Trump. We're coming back. A lot of people view that as anti-American, to say the least.
Absolutely. Think about it. So John Kerry is backdooring the Iranians who have American blood on their hands. And what's President Trump doing? Dropping bombs on the head of Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad because we know precisely who our enemies are and what they deserve. And he stood up to them. He's put them in an incredibly tight spot. And it's John Kerry who's going to slink back in with all these Obama 2.0 types, if it were to be a Biden administration, and surrender to our enemies, putting our allies under the bus like Israel. We'll see it.
Yeah. Now, Pete, let's talk about your book for a second. It is Modern Warriors, American Crusade. I love the title. I love Crusades. Tell us about the book.
Well, Modern Warriors is a book about service and sacrifice. It profiles 15 of the most high-profile vets of the post 9/11 generation: Green Berets, SEALs, Army Rangers, snipers, bomb techs, and it just simply has them telling their story in a very candid way. It's raw, it's real, it's not politically correct. You want to hear what it's like to hear the bullets whizzing by your head, or be on a helicopter as you're about to drop down on a mission, and then be inspired by the fortitude these guys have had. They talk about their fears. They talk about sacrifice, losing their friends, and why they put the uniform on in the first place. We talk a lot about the elites, Judge. The real elites are the 1% who have worn the uniform and willing to put their life on the line for this country. And these guys bear their souls. And so if you're a vet or a military family or a patriot, doesn't matter whether you served or not, you're going to love this book, Modern Warriors. You hear from them in their own voice.
Well, certainly timely, certainly exciting, and certainly something that I think our viewers would be most interested in. We totally support the military, and stories about them are so important for all of us. And even in my book, Don't Lie to Me, I talk about a couple of the warriors and their stories. I mean, these are all heroes. Your book, Modern
Amen.
Warriors, fantastic book. So go out and get it, everybody. Pete Hegseth, we love you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Judge. Love you too.
Okay. Up next, will the Dems really try to undo and tear down all President Trump's policies? David Bossie reacts next.